Hi, everybody. We are in Costa Rica. This is Erica.
Hello.
Erica, cheers. We have I have a green goddess, which is like celery and basil and ginger and celery, and you have
The cacao kick.
the cacao kick. So fresh cacao beans, coconut milk, a little bit of cayenne, and lots of yumminess. Banana. We're in Costa Rica, and we've been having some really good discussions, and I asked Erica if she would be willing to ask those questions out loud so all of you could learn. So thanks for doing it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been a great trip, a great time in Costa Rica. But so as I've gotten to know you this week, I've learned that you do a lot of work in communication. And I have 3 teenagers, so communication can be challenging.
Yeah.
But I have a good relationship with them, and we communicate well. But I've also gone through sort of some life transformations and healing and changes over the last few years. And something that's really come to my awareness is wanting to learn and understand conscious parenting.
And by the way, you're going to hear all sorts of noises. We're like out in nature, and there's blenders, and
we're near the bar.
And, yeah. So.
And so one of the questions I guess I'd have for you, knowing that you do work with teens, is if you're trying to kind of change or make a paradigm shift and going from some patterns or ways of communicating that I know now that I'm aware of them are maybe not the best, moving into more of a conscious parenting and really knowing that my role is to help them become whatever they came here to be. How can you make the transition without, I mean, they already think you're crazy at this age or you're weird. They may have already always thought I was weird, but that's okay. So what are some tools or tips on how to really navigate sort of, I'm not going to do it that way anymore, without, I mean, maybe it's I was wrong, but, is there a way to really share wanting to change the relationship and really give them wings and without going into the conscious this and that, because I'd probably lose them.
Okay, so wow, what a brave question, first of all. So thank you for that. And that you are even a parent embarking on breaking patterns, stopping the cycles that you think are dysfunctional, and wanting to do this, I think is just so incredible. I think probably the first thing that really comes to mind is I think your kids watch who you are more than they hear what you say.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so, yes, I'm going to give you some tips on how to communicate, but I think the fact that you are becoming more conscious, and you said sometimes saying like I was wrong, I think you're teaching them in that moment to take ownership and acknowledge when they make a mistake and that it's okay.
Yeah.
And so there is probably the biggest step, right? Because in their life, they will be successful with other humans and in relationship if they can take ownership for themselves and they've seen a role model who will do it. So the second thing I'd say is in actually communicating with people when we're changing, teens really like to figure things out that they can, they like to be in control. Really. And so even though they're not in control, they're starting to gain some control. Well, they're starting to gain it, right? The car keys, the ATM, the curfew, that they're starting to gain some control over their lives. And so they also know how to get what they want from you. They know what you value, whether it's grades, whether it's how they behave, whether it's their chores, whether it's how they spend their money, whether it's how they act with their friends, what they wear, whatever it is. They usually know what a parent is happy with them for.
Right.
So when you start changing and you don't say something to them, now all of a sudden they can't trust what they knew about how to handle you. And so and this actually it's not just about teens, it's about any relationship. So if in your family or in your romantic relationship, when you start to change, it's so good to give someone a heads up and let them know that they're not shocked or surprised that now it's really interesting. As I'm saying this, I'm remembering in a relationship that when I was upset about something, I said to my partner, like, this is how I'm going to change how I show up. Like, I'm not going to initiate coming close to you or being affectionate with you because it seems right now that you need space, or the last time I walked over, you just kind of, ignored me, or And that was really upsetting to this person. And so what I'd say is, I think most of the time it works to let somebody know ahead of time. So let's say you leave this retreat, okay, and you go home and you've learned some things about yourself, or you're going to be doing something a little bit different. You're going to be drawing boundaries differently.
Right.
I would say, hey, guys, I'm so glad I'm home. I had a great trip. I learned how I can be a better parent, and I just wanted to share that with you. I learned some ways that I can be a better mom. Because they're always interested in hearing how you can be a better mom.
I'm sure they are, right?
Which is so different than saying, I learned some things that I really think you could use.
Right.
Right? They're
That's
not
a different
interested
message.
in that. Yeah.
Completely different. Because it's a different,
Feel.
I'm taking account of, like you said, you're leading by example.
Yeah.
By saying, I wanted to get better.
Yes.
Not I wanted to make you better.
That's right. Which is such a different thing in relationship as well as in this exchange. So I think a couple things. I think making sure that they know that something's changing so that they can continue to trust.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, have you ever heard of Shefali Sabari?
Mm-mm.
So she's incredible. She wrote a book called The Awakened Family.
Okay.
She also did a wonderful talk that you can get online with Oprah on The Awakened Family. So you can just Google that. She, I would say, does most closely what I align with, specifically for family units.
Okay.
So I would do that. And then I would say the teen program that I run is called 20-8-Teen. That was when I did it in 2018.
You did it last year, yeah.
And it's mastering conversations with peers, partners, and parents.
So you're teaching them how to communicate.
And how to be accountable and how to take ownership and how, when they feel betrayed or violated, how to actually voice that to who they need to.
Right.
Instead of stuffing it in and talking about people, not to them, and, kind of going into this whole cycle of emotional torture is what I think it is.
Is this something that we can bring into the schools? I mean, I would love for this, especially in middle school, or even high school by then, because, it's not something I don't think they're really taught.
Yeah, I think
I
you're
wasn't
right.
taught it in high school. I mean, I don't think it's really, they learn to backstab, talking on their back, tell everybody else why they're upset, and
Yeah.
So
I think it's necessary. Let's that'll be another thing on the list here. I think what I need to do first is make like a online course. Make it so it's scalable, and then train people to be the live first part of it, and scale it. But so far, so good on the feedback. So, and I like hearing the question because it tells me that there's really a need and that parents would want this.
There is.
All right.
Definitely a need. So,
all right. So for all of you who have teenagers or children or once were a teenager and know how important it is to know how to communicate and sort out your emotions, and how, when you feel betrayed, to learn about it. And also, those of you that are becoming more conscious, make sure, whether it's a teenager or your partner or your family member, make sure that you let them know that something's changing so they get a heads up. And they don't say things like, why are you talking all weird like that?
Right? Like, what? This is what I get.
Yeah, you just get some body language.
And then they start texting each other. I'm sitting, I'm right here. I just let them laugh at me. I'm used to it.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Erica.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I hope this was helpful.